Hi, I'm Shirin.
I'm Kyan.
I'm Taraneh.
And we are Unmarried Persian Girls.
Lay la lay la lay. Lay la lay la lay. La 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 lay la lay.
Hi, I'm Kyan. I'm known as the westernized Persian, as some may know me. I keep it classy, sassy, and just a little badassy.
I'm Shirin. I'm 32. I live in the UK, and I just loved what Kyan said.
I'm Taraneh. I'm 22. I live in Toronto, and I did love what she said as well.
Yes. We do love you, Kyan. Today, exceptionally, you are being amazing.
I'm honored.
This show, as you may have already gathered, is all about Persian women who are unmarried, but you can be married as well. If you want to listen to us, it's okay. We talk about things that we usually don't want to talk about within our culture, and this show is going to dedicate its time to those topics.
Yes. And completely unfiltered. And speaking of unfiltered, we got a juicy topic today.
What is it?
Do Persian parents interfere too much in picking a partner?
Wow.
Listen, guys, we know our Persian parents tend to be overbearing. Not all. I don't want to generalize, but some tend to be a very, they try to pick your partner for you. Let's just say that much. So let's get into it.
I know this is going to be about our parents, and some people are really sensitive about their parents. So let me just say that this is an opinion show, and you don't have to agree with us. No hard feelings. But if you do want to leave us a comment and disagree or agree, we would really appreciate that. We always read your comments. We love that you leave us comments.
Yes.
And because of that, we're going to read one. Each of us is going to read one of your comments at the end of the show.
That's right. We're going to pick our favorite comments and read them at the end. So stay tuned for that. As a child growing up, your parents are your role models. They're your world. They're your basically what you follow in life initially. I picked my career because of my dad, because I wanted to be a businesswoman and wear suits like him. And with my mom, I followed her manual of like what is the right partner for me. And she made it very clear from the beginning that she would keep saying, and this is based on her own experience in life. So of course she wants the best for her daughter. So she's drilling it into my head saying, Kyan, you should be with a doctor because they'll never cheat on you. They're usually nerds. They're too busy. And you should be with someone financially stable because your life is good. So someone who's docile plus money equals perfect husband. Yeah. And that's not the case, And unfortunately, initially I did follow that. I quickly had to uncondition myself. But
so they literally tell you what you're supposed to choose.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, because I have worked with a lot of kids and I see how their parents treat them. Okay, so in Canada, but I've seen the Persian ones too. I mean, I was a Persian kid myself, and I see that in Western culture, from the moment that the kid is not even talking but's able to point at something, they start giving the kid options so that he or she can make a decision. When she's 2, they're like, okay, what flavor ice cream do you want, chocolate or strawberry, and then which school do you want to go to? But with Persian parents, you don't have a say. I want you to go to the strict school and study your ass off, and that's what you're supposed to do. And you're a teenager. I totally remember your parents take you shopping, but you're watching your mom choosing what you're supposed to wear. So they don't give you an option. Persian parents don't count. Okay, this is like literal translation from Adam hesabet nemikonan. They don't count you as human. And
they don't. It means like nobody takes you seriously.
Yeah, they don't take you seriously. And once you're an adult and you're actually living real life now, and you're able to make your own decisions, just like they picked your ice cream flavor, they want to pick your partner too.
Yes.
They just don't.
I think that's very true.
yeah, they just from childhood, they literally don't let you make the decisions. They don't give you the option to make choices.
Although I think, from my point of view and my opinion, as Taraneh also said, anyone can disagree with that. But I think in our culture, the majority of problem with this thing is on that side of the parents.
Really?
You know? Like, yes, this is what I think, because especially I think for girls it's mainly dads, because like fathers are very usually, unfortunately, scary in our culture, because I don't know, like, because they shout at you if you pick a boyfriend. They shout at you if they find you're dating. And a generation before me, I know that putting makeup on was an issue, let alone like dating, right? But and the second they find out that you are dating or you like somebody, it just goes from 0 to 100 suddenly, and like they make you shit yourself sometimes.
I totally agree that dads are supposed to be intimidating in the family, you know.
Dating was completely
they're
forbidden.
supposed it's like you're not a good dad if you're not scary.
Yes.
It's always like,
Baba.
Let me take the belt out.
yes.
I mean, my dad once, when I was, in high school, and I had a lot of guy friends because I have brothers, it just only makes sense. I had a picture with a guy friend, just, a normal picture. My dad saw this picture. I thought he was going to kill me. If my mother didn't come in between,
God.
I was like, because immediately he sees that picture, he thinks she's having sex. I'm going to
Yeah.
So it's true. Persian dads can be really scary, but I mean,
my best friend fainted once. She literally did. So she was seeing this guy, and her parents were at her like aunties or something, and she was on the phone with him, and like they come back home sooner than she expected.
Oh my God, that's bad.
The dad smells like men's cologne. So he goes like upstairs angry, and she sends the boyfriend to the roof, and she just goes into the bathroom and she faints, literally, because she was scared.
That is terrifying.
It's heartbreaking, but again, this is how they've been raised, haven't they?
Yeah.
The parents.
The more we talk about it, the more
culture.
Yeah, the more we can help the next generation. Hopefully, we can fix these issues. So once this generation becomes
I think
parents,
it's being fixed, because before my mom would yell at me, but then my younger sister yells at my mom. So
Nice.
Generations are changing.
I guess
Yeah.
so. I mean, speaking on, the dad being strict, in my case, because my dad was always busy with work and running a company, it was up to my mom to raise me and my brothers. And my God, she is an overbearing woman, especially when it came down to dating. When it was time for me to date, once I finished high school, university, you're like, okay, now you're free to date. She was so strict with it. She always said, I don't care what religion it is, but it has to be Persian. You have to end up with a Persian guy. Your life will be much easier. And I dated other cultures. I didn't completely listen to her, but that was always in the back of my head. It's like, oh, this is going to work because this guy's not Persian.
Yeah.
And I end up limiting myself so much, because I'm sure there's a perfectly wonderful guy out there who's not Persian, but because of my mother's words drilled into my head, it limited me. And
if I knew
to this
your mother
day,
back then, I would tell her to do the opposite, like, don't date Persian.
Well,
No offense
it
to
worked
Persian
out
guys.
in the end. I'm with a Persian guy now who's wonderful, by the way, knock on wood. But even to this day, I'm in a really wonderful, healthy relationship. Like, my mom loves the guy, but she's still being overbearing. She's like, I think you guys should put your kids in this school when you have kids. You should buy a house here. I was like, Mom, chill out. If I listened to her, mark my words, I would have never ended up with a guy. I'd die alone if I listened to my mom. So,
But that's funny. My mom always was the one that I could actually like say, so I like this guy or something like that. But father side, I would like to. Maybe we should do a. Do you say do a poll or make a poll or pull a poll?
Do a poll.
What is it?
Do a poll.
Do a poll.
Yeah, we'll do a poll.
Maybe we should do a poll and see in our culture, are mothers more intimidating when it comes to a partner, or are fathers more intimidating?
Oh, well, I think it depends. It depends if you're a girl or a boy. Guys don't have a problem dating.
That's true.
Well, no mom, no dad.
You might want to bite your tongue. We'll get to that.
The only thing guys will say when it comes to like us saying guys have it like easier, they will like, oh, but you go to become a soldier as well, mandatory soldier. Anyways, that's another episode.
But honestly, when I was thinking about that, are Persian parents overbearing, which I do think they are, I feel like Persian people do care about showing off and do care about what other people think, like relatives and khalam and uncle. So
you're talking about aberu.
Yes,
that famous word.
Do we have the word for English?
What's the English definition? I don't think there is an English definition.
Like image.
For that. Yeah.
No, there isn't. There's not a literal.
Your prestige.
Social image.
Your social image, prestige. All of that. Status. That's it. Status.
They wanna choose your partner because they're worried that because they wanna keep a good image in front of the relatives that my daughter is dating this amazing rich guy, or
Not saying that only rich guys are worthy, but yes, in many cases that's the case.
Many Persian.
But the same way that the parents do like force their kids, Persian parents is a thing that they want you to become a doctor or an engineer, and they still think like it has to be like their in-laws have to be also something like that, whereas nowadays any person could be just as great as, I don't know.
I feel like in a lot of families, traditional families, they literally the parents would sit down together, like older traditional families literally sit down together and don't say, okay, what should we do that my daughter will become happy in her life? That's not the conversation. The conversation is so who do you think she should marry that's like keep a proper image for us? And I've seen in a lot of Persian movies that they go to a party and then they go to the son-in-law, like the relatives are like, okay, hi, so what do you do? And they don't even let the guy answer in the movie, and the mom-in-law comes in, she's like, oh yeah, he's a business owner.
You're right.
Or doctor.
And then the poor guy owns a restaurant, but they say, oh yeah, like he does importation of
elevated somehow. It's all about the kelos.
I think
about that. That's a big pressure.
If we're talking about selfish, they are the ones that are being selfish.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
Some, not all, but yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I also say that, like, I just realized that's such a big pressure on guys as well. Like, they are aware that if I am a mechanic, if I'm if I have a restaurant, if I'm a chef or something, even if the business is going well, they'd be like, oh, who will want to, I don't know, marry me? I mean, that's a very wrong thing to say, but it is a pressure, and it comes from parents.
But it's not only about guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's relative. Everything exists, but it's relative. It's about what is more in the majority. Is when we just. In parentheses, this is exactly what we talk. Whenever we talk about feminism, women's right, and all of that, everyone is like, not everyone, but a lot of men come to me and say, oh, what about us? We go through this and that as well. I'm like, we are talking about the majority. 99% of women do get harassed or whatever, abused and in verbal whatever, but men don't get it less. So we talk about that, and here it's the same. with what you said, Taraneh, I think.
Yeah, it's equal.
I think you're right. It's all about the abru and the image, and it's an old style mentality where they think of like they have to marry up, so to speak. Like it depends on the family. Oh, what does the father do? What does the mother do? So we have to uncondition that. I think. Yeah.
That would be
It's also about the other thing that I think we should address here with the whole topic of the show. The amount of pressure parents put on their children when it comes to choosing their partner is also the guilt, the feeling of guilt if you don't go with my preferences. Well, a lot of Persian mothers say that to their sons, I will disown you if you marry this woman.
Literally, they will.
If a girl chooses her partner, a man that it's not like approved by the parents, they will disown the girl. The disowning, or like, how could you do this to me? How could you choose this? Like Persian mothers usually, I mean, I have heard from a lot of like my girlfriends, people who talk to me, and they're like, my mom makes me feel guilty because they're like, if you marry this guy, if he's not Iranian, you will never come back home, like to Iran, if the daughter is living abroad, right? Like, let's say my mom says, oh, if you are with this person who's not Iranian, you will never want to come back to Iran. So go with someone who's Iranian, so at least they want to come to Iran and visit. And this is a life-changing guilt trip that you get. I'm not saying I'm getting it, but a lot of people do.
The guilt trip is real with Persian parents.
Absolutely.
I felt a good share of it. Speaking of which, I've said this before on a previous episode, I think episode 1 about marriage. My parents didn't let me date. They made it clear that you have to finish your education first, and then they kind of feel comfortable that, she's old enough and at least she's educated. That's a problem. I mean, it was a problem for me because you learn a lot about yourself while dating. You learn what's good for you and who you are as a person, especially in your formative years, your teenage years, your early 20s. So for me, like I didn't have the okay to date until I was 22, 23. And at that point I was,
oh my God.
I wake up in the world. I'm like, oh my God, like literally like a little Disney princess. And I'm just supposed to figure it all out. And,
imagine if Taraneh hadn't dated until now.
But you see what I'm saying? She probably, at this age, I remember myself at 22. I was this young, naive, innocent little girl that knew nothing about. No, you know a lot more than I did at 22.
I am just this really young, naive girl. I am.
Sure.
Serious.
She's sharp.
Yeah, look at me. I am.
No one's falling for that.
So because being naive is in the face.
I am like the most innocent girl you can see on this.
Did you prepare this speech ahead of time? So my point is that you like dating can be okay. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn about the world. You learn things when you go on dates.
But you should have dated sneakily. This is what all of us do.
June, remember the guilt trip part? Yeah, that guilt trip
and
was
you
like
were living in the kharij.
I was. That's the fucked up
outside.
part. Exactly. Isn't that fucked up? I actually listened. And and I think they also drilled into my head, stay virgin till marriage. And in the beginning, I was convinced, like, this is what I will do.
Yeah,
not that there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, like, it's like, these set of rules.
It's hard to do that in Canada.
Well, it would have been easy.
Westernized countries.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's doable.
These girls, 13-year-olds, you should see them.
Yeah, true. So, anyway, that's my experience.
Okay, but
that's fantastic.
I was reading an article. It was not about Persian families because there are not a lot of articles about Persian families on Google. But it was saying that when parents are interfering, they're literally trying to arrange your marriage. If you would allow them, they would do what absolutely. They'll be like, okay, sit home, I'll bring your husband, honey.
It's funny that you say. No, it's not funny that you say that.
Hilarious.
I'm just saying it's interesting. It's not funny. No, it's not funny that your parents didn't allow you to date until you were 22. It's heartbreaking, but
still recovering.
No, I didn't get that too, because it's a cultural thing. It's not like they would sit you down and say, okay, for you this case we don't allow you. It's like an unspoken rule in our society, right? But
exactly.
I get it. However, interestingly enough, I never got that kind of a pressure when it comes to choosing a partner from my parents. Not in that respect, not in that like scale that we are talking. I have seen it with my siblings, I have seen it with my like older cousins and like people who I speak to, and I know the situation, how it is with the majority of people. But I never felt that, and I consider myself very lucky. Except for one instance, which led to a marriage suddenly, like zero pressure, and then suddenly, okay, I'm going to ignore this partner that you've chosen, and not going to like even acknowledge that
your parents.
You're talking about this parent. Yes, mainly my father. I love him to death, and we are now in good terms. He knows now, like. There should be a respect of whoever we choose and all that. But that was what I got, and it hurt me deeply, because imagine like you're living with someone and you see them as your like partner, you're serious in a serious relationship, and you are like video calling your parents, talking about your life and everything. This guy, like for example, like my ex-partner would pass behind me, or I mentioned that like me and this person, we went this place and that, and then instantly my dad would just like turn and leave the picture. It's crazy. Imagine like you're a grown-up, you're a mature person in your 20s, and you want to see your parents' approval in many things, but especially with your life partner if you are choosing them, and that happens. So yes, I got nothing, and suddenly that.
So you got married to satisfy your father in that case?
Yes, I got married to gain the respect of my father. Yeah. That's why it wasn't a successful marriage. That's why I'm never going to marry again.
Guys, I wanna share a memory about this.
I might get married for future reference.
You never know, Shirin. Never say never.
Wow, okay.
That's
exactly.
new.
She's in a good mood today.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Taraneh, go on.
It's okay. I want to share this experience. I should have said it earlier, but I just remembered that. Oh wow, I should have said that. My first serious boyfriend I had, his parents, he was born here, raised here. His parents hated my guts. They didn't like me, and they didn't approve of him dating me. They tried so much. If he bought me a birthday gift once, and they made me bring it back and return it.
Wow.
Because they're like, you're not buying this girl anything.
Oh shit.
His mom would call my mom with a no color ID and start talking, like making rumors up. You're 18-year-old girls sleeping with my husband, like stuff like that. And at the end of the day, after 2 years that we were together, they kicked him out of the house with a pair of flip-flops, and they're like, okay, you're dating this girl, you're not. So he was my boyfriend. I loved him, so I got him a place with my savings, and I gave him my car. I'm like, we'll start over. Like, your parents are toxic anyways. Like, we can do this. We're young. We'll work and build a life. And the parents, just look how much control they want to have over you. He was just a 18-year-old boy. They call him and they're like, you can come back home and we'll give you the Mercedes. Just break up with Taraneh. And
my God,
he did that.
He picked the Mercedes over you. Well, you know what? He didn't recognize the Rolls Royce, so he has cheap taste. There you go.
No, he was like, I'm gonna go back home, but I'll be in touch with you and go fuck yourself.
Son of a bitch.
But
oh my God.
Like so Persian to pick a Mercedes for a woman.
See, this is the thing. The parents really like it's a when you want to get into a relationship, this is my advice to whoever who is not Persian or whoever does not know this, which is unlikely of Persians, but if you want to get into a relationship with a Persian man or Persian woman, well, we are women, we are talking about, make sure you're okay with getting into a relationship with the whole dynasty and
family.
like family. Because they will be in your life, motherfucker.
Well, it depends. You can set boundaries. I mean, I learned the hard way that boundaries are everything, or else like you can really just destroy your life.
Okay, so with this whole topic, we know that if you actually let these Persian parents arrange your marriage, they'll happily do it. They will ask you to stay home and will bring your husband to you. Don't worry, because and I was reading an article about it. It was not about Persian families, but it was just about arranged marriages in actually U.S. And the people that were like interviewed in that article were so happy with their arranged marriages. And I read something that it actually got me thinking. It said that in arranged marriages, everything starts cold and it heats up, but with romantic love, it all starts with heat. It starts heated up, but then it goes cold. Which I agree, because I've been heated up and gotten cold so many times. So
wait, you're saying you think arranged marriages are a good idea?
Okay, listen to me. There are not arranged, but I'm just saying listening to your elders' experience and asking for their advice could totally help, because when you're in love, you're blinded by your feelings, but parents don't have that emotional filter, so they can totally screen and see every red flag.
Okay, advice is one thing. Arranged marriages is a whole different thing. So
I'm just saying, I was reading an article about arranged marriage, but then this is what I got from it, that it's true that they don't have any feelings toward that person, so they wouldn't ignore red flags. And if you actually ask your elders or someone else's opinion, they could see it from outside and help you.
Well, I don't think it needs to be arranged marriages. That's probably the worst possible fucking way to.
I completely disagree.
With what?
Which part exactly?
I tell you what. I completely disagree. Advice, not advice, forcing. Parents should stay out of your decision when you want to choose your life partner.
Well,
now,
I totally disagree with you.
If you're under 20, that's another issue. As under 20, you're not even a human. Who counts you out?
I mean, I'm okay with.
You're one of those Persian parents. Oh my god.
Oh, that
Maybe I'm okay with receiving wisdom and I in my opinion, the best possible way to find your partner is through friends or family, because they know you the best. But I don't agree with arranged marriages. I think that's complete garbage. But I think there can be something to be said about your parents kind of like being the quality control of who comes into your life. So
true.
It depends, but
I feel like advice, I think if there are really, really wise people out there that are parents too, and they could really, really help their children, not children, but their kids into their relationship, as long as there is no pressure, but they actually are honest with you and tell you about what they think. For example, if something in my boyfriend, this is all hypothetical, okay? Not talking about my boyfriend. If my boyfriend was doing something that would hurt me, I would go to my mom and be like, okay, yeah, he does that. And then she would say, oh, yeah, your dad did that too, and then it really hurt me, and don't settle for that.
Okay, exactly. If your dad did that too, it doesn't mean that if your boyfriend does that too, it will hurt you the same way.
Listen, hurting me. That's why I'm telling my mom.
I spoke. So this girl came to me. She was 21. Okay. She said, I want to talk to you about something. I said, I'm not a therapist or something.
You're not.
Therapist. She said, I want. I am. On the contrary.
You're not the president doctor.
Go on.
Yeah, so she was like, she really insisted, and she said, I really need your opinion. And I said, okay, I will give you like like literally like 1 hour, let's talk about it. Like I didn't know her, but anyways, she said, listen, there's this guy, I really like him, my parents really like him, we want to see how we can convince him to come to ask for my permission from my parents, like the whole family. Okay, I was like, okay, what are the things that you like about him? He said, he's my dad. He's like my dad. He is kind like my dad. How my dad is kind to me. And I was like, darling, your dad being kind to you is a whole different world of him being kind to your mother. Do you have any idea whether your dad was kind to your mother before you were born? No. So you can't compare that. Our father figures are not good examples to choose a partner.
You mean finding a daddy replacement is not okay?
Oh, stop!
I'm just daddy. I'm just saying.
Some girls literally pick their partners because they have daddy issues.
That's true. That's true.
It's like a daddy replacement.
I still say that.
Similar to mama's
some
boy.
parents, for example, my parents were never pushy, but they were always so open to me, and they would let me talk to them about anything, and they would give me their advice, and it's always helped me. So I think if that pressure, even if your tone is so important to go to your kid and tell them, I think your partner sucks, just say it in a nice way. Maybe they'll actually listen.
Well, speaking of partners sucking, are you guys ready to hear the epitome of parental pressure? Yeah. Persian parental pressure on the
Persian
kids.
parental pressure.
So, spell the beans.
I may or may not have a friend or a family member, I won't disclose which one, who, it's a guy. He is a Persian doctor, so already you know his mother's obsessed with him. His mother, by the way, is a very, like, controlling, kind of, like, loves her son, like, so he's a typical mama's boy, let's put it out there. He starts dating this...
Sorry.
So this gentleman that I don't know, maybe I know, maybe I don't, starts dating this lovely girl. Baby, like she was the head nurse. They met in a hospital. Lovely woman. She was like in the army. She was giving, like, very charitable, and she has blue eyes on top of everything. And you know Persians like care about like chishmai rangi.
And she was Persian?
Yeah, she was Persian. They have a wonderful relationship. They get engaged happily. The mother books a flight, forces her husband to come to the city. They sit down the son and say, I don't think she's good for you. You rushed into it. Convinced him to break off the engagement that he was happy in. And, the next day broke off the engagement, broke the girl's heart. And do you think he's happy now?
Oh, my God.
And, this is all because of the mother trying to take control over his life. And he's a grown-ass man,
This makes me feel these moms don't have a life of their own.
It just like
when I see. Sorry.
Let me just say it's because, like in this example, because she raised her child, she nurtured him to become like the highest level of like in the medical field. So she feels like no matter the age, she still like she made that. So she has So that's the thing with Persian parents. Age is like they don't see age. It's like you're still my child. They still see you as that little child.
But it's like it's not like that at all in a westernized culture. They don't have any expectation from you. You turn 18, they actually kick you out.
Yeah.
But here you're the baby forever.
Yeah. So listen,
but another thing is that very interesting is like you talked about aberu, which is a social status and all that. We have another thing that is sharm o haya. I don't know what it is in English. Like you have to be careful how far you go when you speak to your parents. Like disrespecting is a huge thing. So like the circle where you can like move within is very tight when it comes to what to say to your parents in Western culture, which I think is the right way or right behavior, is that if you see your parents are disrespecting your partner who you love and who you are serious about, they will like screw you. Like, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. I have spent time with them. I'm not talking about young kids like Taraneh, 22 years old, going dating for
She's
1 week.
She's officially an adult.
And then, I'm joking. I'm teasing her. Like, don't ruin it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel
I'm not
like,
talking. Wait, I wasn't finished.
Oh my God! Now you are finished. Listen to me. I know that.
That was the point I was making.
Wait. Okay. Let her make her point. Go on.
I'm gonna bite this mic. Okay, go.
Okay. I was gonna say, you have to at some point stand up for your choice of partner.
Yeah.
Okay. If your parents are being unreasonable,
okay,
you have to say you're being unreasonable.
Here's
Thank you.
Here's my bottom line. Listen, Persian parents, let your kids off the leash. They're not kids anymore. Let them have the freedom to live their life and make their own choices, mistakes, lessons, whatever. And Persian kids, you got to set the boundaries. You got to set boundaries, or else whose life are you living? That's me.
Yeah. And
says who?
I'm pretty sure that there are so many different types of parents. Even in this room, us three, our parents are so different. So I would love to hear stories about how your parents treat you and how they involve themselves about you picking a partner. So please do write us and tell us what they do.
Tell us your stories. Tell us what you think, please.
I would love to read that. And so now let's read some of the comments we chose to read.
Okay, who's going first? I'll go first.
Okay, go.
Thank you guys for offering me the first position.
Sure.
All right, so back on episode 4, we discussed what's with all the jealousy. We posted a clip of, there was this one part in the episode asking, do you check your boyfriend's phone? So Daisy wrote to us saying, my partner is Canadian, and we don't check each other's phones because we trust each other 100%. Aferin. When I used to date Iranian guys, they checked my phone all the time. And guess what? They were the ones who turned out to be cheating and not me. My best friend's husband checks her phone every day and even checks my conversations with her. I just don't get it, because what if I'm sharing something private with my best friend? And now I feel violated by her husband's insecurity.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't read the best friends.
Don't check each other's phones. If you're checking each other's phones,
like
you're in the wrong relationship.
It's like when I told you about my cheating boyfriend, ex-boyfriend.
Oh, right.
He kept saying like I'm cheating while he was cheating all the way.
Let me read mine. Okay. Irena81 says that I assume if Persian girls check their partner's mobile phone, definitely the partner is Persian too, and all of these insecurities are because most of the Persian guys are cheating. Preach it, girl. On the other hand, Persian girls nowadays go to the committed or married guys only to prove that they are better than the girl who check her boyfriend's mobile. Is more okay, let's start over. On the other hand, Persian girls nowadays go to the committed or married guys only to prove that they are better than the guy's partner. In this scenario, I think the girl who checked her boyfriend's mobile is more insecure than being jealous, but the girl who goes to a married or committed guy is actually jealous.
Oh,
that's so true, because these days I was just on Google reading something, and these little ads come up. I'm mentioning this so that I didn't search it up myself. Said that like it was a clickable website saying how to seduce a married man.
Oh,
so
shit.
These days,
what have you been Googling?
it was like a dating article.
It just happened to show up in my feed. I'm kidding. Yeah, that depending on, you were probably researching for that episode and it came up.
Yeah, and then exactly. And then it's just because she's totally right, because these days I think you cannot trust anybody. It's not even the man. If the man's living his life, us girls are not. We're not behind each other. Like we're not behind each other's back. No, it's not.
We don't back each other.
We're not protect. Yeah, we don't back each other up.
Yeah.
We don't protect each other, and now she's so right. If I try to seduce your man, I'm only trying to prove to myself that I'm better than you, and that's so fucked up. So girls, if you see if someone has a man, please back off, bitch.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about this, but I think we are
just
running
skip
out
it
of
all
time, so I'm
and
going
get
to
to-
read mine. The chosen comment that I'm going to read is from Sara Farrahi 20. It's in Farsi. I read the Farsi, then I translate. She says آزادی و خوشبختی الانم و مدیون چک کردن شوهر سابقم هستم. انجام یه کاری نمیتونه مطلقاً خوب یا بد باشه. کی چی میدونه؟ So she says the freedom and happiness that I have right now, I owe it to myself because I used to check on my husband's check his cell phone. This shows that doing a certain thing is not necessarily good completely or bad. Who knows what will come out of it? Well, this shows, Sarah John, that relationship was not right because there was something wrong. So if you feel that you should constantly check your partner's phone, just break up.
Yeah,
without
that's
even
toxic.
checking the phone.
Guys, just break up with everyone. Bye.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Holland
Thank you so
relationship
much. Subscribe,
Yes,
like,
thank you.
comment. Tell us what you think, please. Most importantly.
Yes.
But also subscribe.
And share
And
with your
if
friends
you-
because they deserve this.
Yeah.
Tag us.
was good.
Tag us on your stories, upg.official, and don't hold back to say how much you love
Let it
Shirin.
all out.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Taraneh.
Never mind. Don't hold back. Thanks, guys.
Good night
Bye.
and see you next week. Bye.